we have here is a very basic IK rig. It looks fine, and on surface level, if you come in here and you start grabbing the controls, it seems like it functions, until you get down here to the base and you say, hey, I want to move the base over here, and you go to move it, and it just warps. So what just happened? So let's go ahead and talk about what happened with this and why it happened. If we go ahead and take a look at these two controls here, the one at the base and the one outside the base, we can go ahead and find the answer pretty quickly. When I click outside the base, you'll notice that this has a constraint. So what not to do, number one, never constrain a control. The main point of controls is that they are controls. We can move them and that controls something else. For a control to be controlled, it is no longer a control, right? So what's the conflict though? Why is this thing warping to Timbuktu? Well, the next part's going to be the hierarchy. If we go ahead and expand the hierarchy, we'll see that the object I have selected, this outer control, is NURB Circle 2. But if I go ahead and click into here to NURB Circle 3, you'll see NURB Circle 3 is inside NURB Circle 2. And what this does is it creates a conflict. And it's a conflict Maya can't really solve. So let's go ahead and recap what we know about hierarchies. When we talk about hierarchies, we're talking about child-parent relationships. And generally speaking, the parent controls whatever's underneath it, which is its children. In this particular instance, you'll see that the NURBS Circle 3 is a child of NURBS Circle 2. And I'll just go ahead and put NC2 up here. NC2. So NC3 is under NC2, but at the same time, NC3 is trying to control NC2. And you run into this conflict, because if this is meant to control that, and then this is controlling that, what is Maya supposed to do? Because innately, whatever happens to this happens to that, but whatever happens to this happens to that. And you can start to see the issue. So when I go to move this, what is happening is exactly that. Maya doesn't really know how to calculate, and you'll see I'm getting this warning here in my log that tells us what's wrong. Now, how do we fix this? It's pretty simple. We just delete the constraint. You'll see the constraints right here. We don't really need it. We can hit delete. And if we do that, you'll see this starts to work as intended, and this starts to work as intended. So I'm prone to believe that this was very likely just a misclick on the rigger's part in this instance, but it brought up a good point of things we should never do. So just to kind of recap, you need to avoid any circular logic. So when we talk about circular logic, it's exactly what we talked about with the hierarchy here, controlling the child and the child controlling the hierarchy. This can't exist because one has to control the other. It can't be an infinite loop, because if it's an infinite loop, Maya can't evaluate it and you're going to get an issue. Now, in this particular instance, it was dealing with hierarchy, and it was dealing with parent constraints. But this could occur in any situation. So for example, any sort of form of control, it doesn't matter if it's a direct connection, a set driven key, an expression, any form of control that creates circular logic is going to result in the same issue. The other aspect besides circular logic is constraints on your curves. When it comes to your control curves, there should be nothing acting on these. These should be clean and pristine. So when you go into the outliner, there's going to be no colors over on this side. The only color that you should ever see on a control curve is going to be red or pink. If it has green, if it has yellow, if it has blue, if it has purple, any color other than red or pink, it's no longer a control curve. All right. So make sure you never have any values besides red and pink over on the actual controls for your rig. So hopefully this helps clear up that idea of kind of circular connections, why they're problematic, and some fixes for them, as well as keeping control curves clean.